Bill Doyle, Worcester Telegram. Brad, I'm sure everyone wants to ask you about Kelly, but I want to ask you about Isaiah. His first, Game 7, just how do you think he responded? He got off to a pretty good start and then turned it on late in the third.
Yeah, no, he was terrific. And the 12-2 assist to turnover, you know, is as powerful as the 29 points. I thought he made a lot of great plays. A lot of those shots that others made in the fourth quarter were off of his passes, or started with them putting two guys on Isaiah. And man, is he a tough guy. He's dealing with more stuff physically, and obviously gone through what he went through, you know, at the start of the playoffs. It's pretty remarkable.
Sharp Blakely, Comcast Sportsnet. Brad, Kelly obviously had a huge game for you, but just talk about your bench as a whole. It seemed everyone you turned to was able to give you something of great value tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bench was a big factor in Game 5 and Game 7. Certainly was as well. You know, throughout the series, the home team's bench seemed to, you know, play really well. So I thought our guys did a great job. Obviously, Kelly gave us that enormous lift of scoring in the fourth quarter, but really in the first half as well, having 12 at halftime on 5 of 7. And then I thought Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart were really good. You know, Marcus, I thought, played as hard as he possibly could, and he was, you know, exhausted. You know, and that's a good feeling when you win, when you've left it all out there.
Coach Steve Buckley, Boston Herald. Before the game, you channeled some Bill Belichick. You spoke of the idea of doing your job, staying in the moment, and focusing on the task at hand. I know you weren't speaking of Kelly Olynyk specifically, but wouldn't you agree that he delivered on all of these points?
I thought our whole team did. Going down 6 in the third, I thought we just stayed the course. We made the next right play, and you know, turned our level up a little bit. I thought at the start of the third we were getting outplayed, and then about 5 minutes and on, we were pretty good. But I thought Kelly, but everybody else that played did too.
Brad, your initial thoughts on just facing off with the Cavs on Wednesday night with the quick turnaround and just the challenge you guys have ahead of you there?
I mean, they're tremendous, the defending champs. I think they're playing better this year than they did last year when I watch them, at least. So, you know, we've got a quick turnaround, and we'll get ready for Wednesday night.
Well, Brad, I know Marcus hit a couple of big hoops as well, but can you talk a little bit about the other things he did to influence the game, block shots, rebounds?
Yeah, I mean, those plays are huge. Like the block at the end of the half when, you know, they're already got a lead and now you block a shot and then you go down and shoot free throws. It's a huge play. The plays that he made with the big rebounds, you know, he guarded Beal after Beal got going. And Beal was tremendous tonight. So, and those 2 big threes were, you know, it's exactly what we talk about. You know, we can talk about Marcus's shooting percentage all year long, all we want, but I think we all know that when it's all on the line, he's going to make it. And, you know, that's a unique trait, I think.
Brad, Jeff Zilga, USA Today. You mentioned Isaiah, what he's going through physically, emotionally as well. What have you gleaned over the years of the athlete's ability to, if this is the right word, compartmentalize and get beyond what they're going through to produce?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was extremely obvious during that first playoff series, especially with all that he had going on. It's amazing. I mean, I think that obviously these guys out here can do things physically that most people can't do, but the resolve and the ability to compartmentalize, as you said, and perform on that stage that way, I mean, that's another very, very rare skill set, I think, and hats off to all of them, but Isaiah certainly is special in that regard.
Brad, Steve Bulpett, Boston Herald. I'm guessing you'd like more time to prepare and scheme for Cleveland, but is it almost better to just roll into it after this?
I've seen him play before. You know, we played them 4 times. I think they're better than any of the 4 times we played them, including the last one where they smashed us. So we're going to have to play really well. And so as we go into tomorrow, the most important thing the coaches can do, the assistant coaches that have already worked on the scouting stuff ahead of time, and myself, is make it as simple as possible in a short turnaround, which is easier said than done against these guys. But what a special opportunity to get a chance to compete against them.
Brad, we talk a lot about taking steps in this league, and you guys, the core of this team, has gone from a team that hadn't won a playoff series to now winning 2 and getting to a conference final. What does that say about your guys and how far you've been able to progress over the last few years with this group?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't get too much into that stuff. We just kind of stay in our lane and try to get better, and you know, again, let the chips fall where they may. If Kelly doesn't go nuts and they throw in a couple more threes, we're not talking about the next step, right? So I think the bottom line is that our desire is to continuously improve, to give ourselves the best chance to be there as many times as possible. And, you know, it's hats off to our guys. You know, I think a lot's been made to them about the last 2 years. And, you know, the first year we played Cleveland and you know, I thought that we were lucky to even be in the playoffs. Last year, I thought we did a lot of good things and probably played better at times than was discussed. And then, you know, it's good to be able to validate the progress by winning a couple rounds. But I think the bottom line is that there's always tomorrow. And so you just focus on tomorrow.
Brad, Taylor Snow, Celtics.com. The atmosphere tonight seemed to be at a different level. How much of an impact do you think that played, and how important is it to maintain that going into the next round too?
I mean, it was ridiculous. It was fantastic. It was unbelievable. I've tried to tell my friends back in Indiana, even being in the last 2 years in the playoffs, that there's no place like this building in the playoffs. And, you know, I'm not sure that I've even felt that this building had ever reached this level tonight, at least since I've been here. I wasn't fortunate enough to live some of those good memories of the past. But hopefully we can keep, you know, having nights like tonight.
Jared Weiss, CLNS Media. At the end of the third quarter, when they subbed out Morris, you started trying to set screens really high, open up space. What did you see with that lineup that they had out there that you could take advantage of and start that run?
Yeah, we did that in the first half too, quite a bit. You know, they're putting so much attention on Isaiah. We just decided to bring the horn screen up, you know, 10 feet or so to give him more space to turn the corner. And he did a really good job of that, both in the first half. It was a very efficient action in the first half, and then was so again in the second. That only works if you've got guys that can shoot around it. And so we had a good shooting lineup in, and guys played well together.